Okay, we ready? Okay. If I could call our meeting to order of the City Council of the City of Glendora for Tuesday, April 18th, 2003 at 4:32. For the audience here tonight, City of Glendora utilizes hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others, if you're in the audience, please silence your phones and refrain from speaking. Let the record show that all council members are present and accounted for. And tonight's closed session will be a conference with real property negotiators. A closed session will be held pursuant to Government Code 54956.8 to enable the City Council and Housing Authority to consider negotiations with Paul Rodriguez, with whom the city is negotiating, and to give direction to its negotiators, Adam Raymond, Moises Lopez, Jeff Kugel, Valerie Velasquez, regarding a certain real property at 1762 Dale Road, parcel number 8631013023. The city's real property negotiator will seek direction from the city council regarding the price and terms and payment of the property. Okay, so with that, I will open public comment and ask if anybody's interested in commenting on this particular item. There's nobody in the audience, so nobody's here. Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to speak?
Nope, it's just staff.
Okay, then I will close public comment and I will recess us into closed session. Okay, I will adjourn our closed session, reconvene back into opening session at 5:03 and ask our city clerk Kathleen Sessman to report out a closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. The city council met in closed session. The details associated with that closed session item are listed on the screen in front of you. A briefing was given, questions were asked and answered, and direction was given to staff about changes to the purchase and a tentative purchase and sales agreement. The item was voted on by and carried 4-1 with Councilmember Alois voting no.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, now let's get on to the duties at hand. Welcome, everybody. Again, for the audience here tonight, the city of Glendora utilizes hybrid format, so we'll have some people on Zoom. I know in our meeting, in consideration of everyone, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. Let's see, we do have public comment before we do the interviews. Okay, so I will go ahead and open public comment. If anybody would like the opportunity to comment, you have 3 minutes. Fill out one of our speaker cards, get it to our city clerk. I don't see any cards, don't see anybody wishing to speak at public comment. Is there anyone on Zoom wishing to speak?
No, we just have an interviewee online.
Okay, then I will close public comment. And I will bring it back to our one and only item we're dealing with tonight: to conduct interviews and appoint applicants to fill expired vacancies on the city council appointed boards and commissions for terms that expire June 30th, 2023. Lorena, I'm calling you.
That's okay.
I'm reading down here.
Gotcha. All right. So tonight we're here to conduct the interviews and appoint the applicants to fill expired vacancies that are terms expiring on June 30th. So just an overview, the city clerk's office conducted a recruitment for boards and commission scheduled vacancies that are turning out on June 30th. On the March 28th city council meeting, an update on the recruitment efforts was presented. And at that time, council accepted the 4 applications received after the deadline and scheduled interviews with the new applicants only for a special meeting, and waived the re-interviewing of incumbents. As well as yesterday, the city clerk's office received a withdrawal from John Crutch. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's with the Community Services Commission. And just an overview, we are trying to fill 3 vacancies for the Business Improvement District Advisory Board, 3 for Community Services Commission, 3 for the Planning Commission, as well as 2 for the Water Commission. In front of you are all the applicants that were received for each board and commission. And again, you're only interviewing tonight. The new applicants, the incumbents, were waived. As so at this time, we're asking council to conduct interviews with all new applicants. And then also, since the number of applicants seeking appointment to the Business Improvement District Advisory Board is equal to the number of available seats, the city council could disperse with the formal balloting procedure and appoint the 3 applicants. So I will turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So at this point, would anybody like to move that we go ahead and deal with the Business Improvement District first?
Also move. Second that.
Any objections?
I'll second that.
Okay, perfect. So any objections?
Nope.
Perfect. Congratulations to those members.
Okay.
And thank them for continuing interest in serving.
Okay, so now we're ready for the process. Our first applicant is via Zoom, Michael Kokowski. Michael, welcome tonight.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for making this available via Zoom today. I appreciate it.
Okay, if you'd like to begin by just telling us a little bit about yourself and why you'd be interested in serving on the Community Services Commission.
Awesome. I moved to Glendora about two years ago. I have children at Sellers, and our long-term goals are to stay in the community and raise our children here. And I was looking for a way to get involved. When I saw the board open up, I was really interested in it. I've been watching the city council meetings on YouTube the day after via YouTube. as I commute, listening to them in double speed. So I've been listening to the board meetings and the city council meetings and the school board meetings for about 12 months or so. And it really piqued my interest. And I was just really looking for a way to get involved in the community.
Okay, appreciate it. Did you say you listened to them at double speed?
Yeah, I have about an hour commute in and out of Burbank. So when I turn the city council meetings on double speed or 1 3/4 speed, it fills
Okay,
just about the whole drive for me.
We'll have to figure out how to do that live. Okay, well, let's start with any questions from the council. David, you want to start?
Yes, thank you. Been a long day. Thank you. Welcome, Michael, and appreciate your interest in this. Working at a big communications company, I guess I would ask, what sort of talents or particular strengths do you bring to help our Community Services Commission and the delivery of our message to the community?
I think the biggest thing, just for my career over the last 16 years at large companies, is just working across a lot of different groups to get to either a consensus or a point where the multiple stakeholders can approve and sign off on it. I've worked a couple large companies, worked across many different groups with many different types of people. And so it's really just been, applying that in the business and in the media world, not in public service. So I think that's the biggest thing I take from my career so far.
Okay, thank you. No other.
Karen.
Hi, and thank you very much for applying to this. Based upon you watching the meetings, even at hyper speed, what might be some ideas that you might have for community services going forward? Anything that has come to mind as you've watched those meetings?
Well, there's already some great ones in the works, which is wonderful. I think the thing like the BMX park at the top of South Hills, especially with the Olympics coming to Benelli Park, and the event that's actually the BMX event actually being there is an interesting project. But I think the other thing is just finding things to incorporate the community around the priorities of the city's development, right? Obviously the gold lines coming into play and the first and last mile improvements. So finding ways and to incorporate that within the larger city vision, I think is important. You can't just do one-off things because you like them. They need to be part of a larger goal and a larger vision.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Mendel.
Michael, thank you. And Karen basically asked the question that I had, but let me kind of spin this to maybe the work that you do. Is there any way that you could incorporate some of the technical skills that you have from your present job into anything that we might use?
Being part of the media and specifically a lot of sports media, there's a lot of messaging that goes around with that. And if that's an asset, whether it's getting things out to the community via video or getting them out via social media or other types of events, that's something I have a little bit of experience in. And if it's useful to people on the commission, I'm happy to lend that insight if given the opportunity.
Great, thank you. Travel safe.
Thank you again for making Zoom available. I did pull off the road, so
Oh,
I am
okay,
parked
good.
and everything's okay.
Okay, well, that's good.
Well, thank you, Michael, for driving in. And seeing as how that you would be a representative of the city council, what would you like to see as your legacy if you were appointed?
That's a big question. I think the biggest thing would just be, again, like I mentioned, with the city priorities, with the gold line, with the improvements that have been targeted around Arrow Highway and Route 66, playing some positive role in helping the city achieve what they want to, or what the members of the community want to see achieved in those areas. Again, this isn't a position or something where it's pet projects for the person on the commission. It's being part of that larger team and part of that larger goal. And how the community service commission exactly plays into that, it will play out. But just being a team and working forward to help the city achieve those goals would be great. I'm not looking to get my name on a statue or anything at this point. So that's the best I can give you right now.
That's Mendel's job. Thank you.
Right. Okay, that's it. Michael, you have any other comments or anything you'd like to make?
Nope, just want to thank everyone for taking the time to consider my application. I know I'm newer to Glendora than a lot of the residents here, but it's been a great 2 years, and thank you again for taking the time to hear me out.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we've got Marcia Mason. Welcome, Marcia.
I am excited to be here, but good to see you in your official position.
Yeah.
So let's see, I'd like to let you know that I care about everything about Glendora. Let's see. And from things like the location of the Christmas tree to the merchants and the seniors and school reunions and activity centers, I really care a lot about Glendora. My parents moved here in 1953, so I don't know any other town. This is my town. And I went to school from Williams, kindergarten to Sellers, even went 1 year to Roosevelt when there was a Roosevelt, and Goddard, first year it opened, and high school. So I am definitely in the know about Glendora school system, at least how it was. And I'm excited to help other people. And also, I don't know if you know this, but I'm in charge or chairperson of the Glendora annual all-class reunion that we have every October. So I'm very involved in that. And I not only am interested in seniors, but also in our youth. And as you know, I'm president of the Women's Club, the oldest service organization here in Glendora, and we offer scholarships. And so we're interested in the youth and the programs that the youth do. And I'm also very interested in Glendora history. I want to maintain it. And from things like the Fairmount Cemetery to the Historical Society. And because of that, I want to be, or would like to be, chosen for the community council. I want to offer anything I can, my services or my assets. So I can't really tell you that I can improve on the Community Services Council, because I happen to think that John Aguirre is doing a great job. And so if anything, I'd like to help him out and be part of it. I think I could be an asset, and I'm pretty good at offering options and expanding ideas. And I'm also interested in senior programs at La Fetra. And I'm very interested in seniors, being one myself. I'm very interested. So I'd like to keep those programs going in La Fetra. And anything, I always put myself out there so that they can kind of tell me what they want, different ideas that they have, and then I can bring them to the council or bring them to John Aguirre. Talk about programming, talk about safe walkways in the parks, different things that we can do in the parks. And let's see, I get ahead of myself on my notes and then I can't find where I'm at. So
Okay.
I guess I can leave it there. That's a little bit about myself. Have any questions for me?
Appreciate it. I'm sure we do. Karen, you want to start?
Hi, Marcia.
Hi.
So based upon all that you've said, what would you see as some of the priorities that you would focus on if you were on the Community Services Commission?
I would like to put myself out there and talking to residents the way I do. And as you know, I write for the paper. So I want to be familiar with different ideas or different concerns that the residents have. I'm interested in trying to bring forth things that they might want. I want to maintain the great quality of this community and try to help it to be what it is, the great little city of Glendora. And that's what I want to do. I want to talk to people and also be involved in Parks and Recreation. I was very interested in the state of the city, what you had to say about that big, what is it? The water improvement that they're going to put in at the bottom of Finkbinder, take out the softball and then put in new turf. And that just sounds fascinating to me. So things like that. I'm interested in the new things that we have going. And I want to let others know about it too. I think our citizens need to know what we have going on. We have a lot of good things, and I want to maintain a positive profile in the community. And I want them to have a positive profile of us.
Okay, Mendel?
Marcia, thank you. It's great to have you here. And I believe that life experience is a really important thing to share with others.
I have a lot of that.
Well, I'm right there too, because I'm a senior adult too. But I was curious, and maybe this cannot be done, but you've had a career that's been pretty big in terms of what I think, attorney and law enforcement. Is there any way that you see that you could bring some of those experiences to help to enlighten and educate the people that we work with within this specific space?
What a great question.
I don't know if it's great or not, and
that
maybe
just
you can
lays
say,
it right
no,
out
I don't
there."
want to share those experiences, and we'll move on, and that's great, but I just.
Oh, no, I would love to bring my past experience and, I'm so interested in the law, all fields of law. And very interested. I graduated top of my law school class in contracts.
Oh,
So I'm interested in contracts and putting verbiage together and anything I can do in that way. And publicity. I think that's why I'm so interested in words and writing. Also, my legal background, I never get tired of looking at everything from the angle of the legal aspect of it. So, of course, I would always bring my legal background. I can't help it.
good. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Michael?
Marcia, thank you so much for being here. We see you around town everywhere. You have, as Mendel said, a great resume. So what's the column going to say next week, since you missed this week's deadline on the Examiner about tonight?
Well, I don't know that I would put this in the Examiner, but
My question is that you're very involved, extremely involved. Do you have the time to commit to this?
oh, I most definitely do. Yeah, if I have 2 cats at home, and if I'm not really involved, I don't want to spend all my time with my cats. So, so yes, I do have the time, and I'm very interested in getting even more involved. I will do everything I can. In fact, I'd like to be on the Water Commission and the Planning Commission. So you just tell me, I'll be there.
So I guess I have a question for staff, and I'm not sure if Adam could opine on this, that we have certain restrictions when you're either appointed or elected, and you write for the paper, and I don't know if that would be an issue or not, a conflict. Since
You thought you were going to sit in the back of the room.
Leave it to Michael to be everything difficult. Good evening. Thank you for coming out here.
Yes.
To answer the question, generally those conflicts affect council members more than they do boards and commission members. On its face, it shouldn't be an issue, but we could definitely ask if that's the case.
okay, just want to make sure, set expectations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would not write about anything in conflict with,
Yeah.
I think I know better, but I am interested in writing about all things Glendora.
And essentially that would
political.
be the issue, yeah, from your official position if you're appointed.
You have the legal knowledge to know
You
what
know better.
crossing.
I
the line.
do.
You could help us. You could keep them in line.
Good luck.
Okay, David?
Hi, thank you, Marcia.
Okay.
I had a question as kind of tailing on to what Michael shared, and knowing your ambition and your involvement in many, many things. People have a small vision of where you're going and what the things you do in town. It's remarkable. And with the 4-year commitment of the Community Services Commission, I would expect and hope, and I think I know you.
Hope I last that long? Is that what you're saying?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay.
Um,
You opened yourself up to
Blushing
that.
just a little bit there. Anyway, that the commitment would fit into the many and multitudes of things that you're doing for the community already. So, and you have answered that you believe you can. So
I
that's
believe I
fair.
can.
Okay.
Remember, it's David Friedendahl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that one. Yeah, okay.
Marcia, thank you very much. You have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for coming.
Mhm.
Okay, up next, Stephen Sally. Welcome, Stephen.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Sally. I've been a resident of Glendora for over 20 years. Raised my kids here, went to all the schools. I think this is a wonderful community. I would like to serve it. Currently, I've been with Glendora Youth Soccer for 18 years as a coach and as a board member for the last 15. I really am passionate about youth sports. I think they teach great lessons. And I have a really strong sense of community. It's really important to me to serve. I think it's just maybe something my parents taught me when I was little. I don't know, but it's just something that I feel I need to do, that I want to do, and want to continue doing that.
Okay, appreciate it, Stephen. Thank you. Amanda, questions?
Stephen, thank you for applying and thank you for being here. You reflect a lot of what we've done in terms of playing sports, coaching sports, being on boards, and dealing with parents. And I commend you for all of those things. But in the wider scope of things, what would be maybe a couple of things that you would bring outside of just sports to the space that this group really sees, from senior adults to pickleball to all kinds of different things?
Sure. I really I have a strong sense of community, and I enjoy the community events that go on. I went to the last Easter egg hunt just to see, just to be part of that. I don't have any kids in it, but just to be part of it. I like the events that they have in the park with the bands and the movies. All those types of events I'd like to be part of and help enhance the next generation of Glendora citizens.
Good, great, thank you, appreciate it.
Yes.
Michael.
So thank you for being here. And I noticed you have Annie Warner as someone who gave you a reference.
Yes.
What do you think Annie would say about you?
I think she thinks I'm a very organized person, that I've served the community well. I've enjoyed working with Annie. Together, we've just helped my direct as field coordinator. I work with her directly, and in that role, I think she say that I served the youth of Glendora very well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. David.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen, and welcome. A long-term coach, that's tenure, and that's some definite commitment. The neat thing about our community services is that very broad, and the Easter egg hunt is a big thing, and we have a lot of traditional events. I think that the community services group would always welcome new things, so that people don't say, oh, it's the second Tuesday of this month. That means, do you have any new ideas or concepts of things that you might like to throw in the pool?
I like the idea of just families coming together to celebrate an event, or just to enjoy some type, some new activity. I don't have a specific example right now, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I have enjoyed the new things like the beer run. I've been to all of those. I'm working hard to improve my time for the next season. But, I think that was a great new addition to something, for the community to enjoy. And so, I'd listen to all the constituents to see what types of ideas they have, and happy to support those as we progress.
Great. Well, appreciate the fresh look. So thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Karen?
On the beer run, you could throw some soccer elbows and do some hip
Oh.
checks to kind of move yourself along in the.
These are
Great.
supposed to be our friends, so.
Yes.
I try not to get too competitive there.
Yes. What do you think particularly that you would bring to the Community Services Commission?
The passion for wanting to work with people. I think I'm a pretty good listener, and, be open to new ideas. I do like to get my hands dirty and work. So when new events do come up, I see myself as playing an active role in helping whatever needs to get done. I'm kind of I'm a doer. So, I would eagerly want to help with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Stephen, anything you want to add?
Nothing more. I mean, I just wanted to say that, I really enjoy serving and representing the community. I think it's important that, if you're going to live in a community, then you be part of the community and, contribute your time and your talents. And that's why I'm here.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Stephen. I can see already we're going to have a tough job tonight. Yeah. Up next, Tim Cremens. Hey, welcome, Tim. Hey, you want to tell us a little bit about why you applied and what you got in mind?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm similar to kind of Stephen's approach. I think it's important to be involved where you live and stay plugged in. I've lived in Glendora basically all my life, with the exception of about 10 years in the middle there. Raised our kids here, my wife and I, and attend Glendora schools. And part of the reason I have interest in the Planning Commission is I spent some time on the Citizens Ad Hoc Committee a few years back, and I think to summarize it best, it gave me a really interesting peek into what a difficult task it is to do anything on the local city level. You've got county guidelines, restrictions, state telling you what to do as far as development and things like that. So I'm not coming to you guys thinking that I have all these amazing solutions, but I do enjoy problem solving and looking at things with an open mind, and hopefully looking to help Glendora maintain this small town charm that we have, that we all really appreciate, but at the same time grow, stay modern, become a place that, or continue to be a place that people want to live, want to work, want to operate businesses, and also spend their free time.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Michael?
Thank you for coming. So what can you parlay into being on the ad hoc committee to being in the public eye of implementing policies, working with colleagues, and things of that nature? What have you learned from that you can project onto this?
That's a good question. I don't know how to, caught me a little off guard with that one. I think that communication is key. Again, looking at things with a really open mind and being able to work together to navigate, challenges and hopefully bring you guys suggestions that are helpful to you.
Thank you.
David?
A great compliment to our planning commission is keeping up with the regulations that we are not in control of. Comes from points north. Where's your focus at, or is that something you have tracked, or is that going to be a learn? Or for me, it's a learn every day. But
yeah, I think it probably is a learn every day for most people. It's something I definitely pay attention to. I'm again not going to by any means identify myself as an expert, but I'm familiar and aware that things are changing, and It's something that changes quickly and rapidly, and often you have to be on top of in order to adhere to those rules and guidelines and laws.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Karen?
Hi there. What would you see as some of the priorities that might be facing the planning commission?
Well, I mean, I think in my mind, and I, could be off base here, but just continuing to develop the city in a way that, again, like I said, maintains its charm, but allows it to be a place, a destination place of sorts where people, again, want to spend their time, operate businesses, employ people, and work. And I think that that's, challenging. I think housing has got to be an issue, I would imagine, as far as how you develop land. But my understanding now apparently is that you almost always have to include some type of mixed use, right? Like, some type of living or dwelling as well. And that stuff, again, I'm not an expert, but it's definitely interesting to me. It's fascinating. And I think it's would be an interesting thing to learn more about and try and learn to navigate.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Anything you want to add?
I don't think so. Thank you guys for the
Okay.
time. Appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Did I ask? a question?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I guess you're not disruptive enough.
Yeah, I guess not.
Well, thank you for taking a year of your life to serve on the ad hoc group. The city thanks you for that. And we are stronger now because of all of the work that you all did. So thank you for doing that. With the goal line arriving within the next year and a half, any thoughts on how to better plan for the arrival of that, the people that we would like to attract that ride that train to come here and eat and shop and hopefully live? Just anything, you don't have to go into depth, but just curious as to what your friends are thinking about the goal line and maybe some of the things that they talk about.
So on the fly, a couple of things that jump to mind is it would probably be a good idea to ping the cities that have already gone through this and see what their challenges have been, what their experiences have been. Meaning I'm assuming probably Monrovia, Arcadia, Azusa, obviously. And then, I mean, in a perfect world, you want to have the stops be walking distance to things that people want to do or need to do, whether it's, offices, places of employment, but also fun stuff, dining, entertainment, those types of things. But that, again, that's a challenging, it's a challenging situation. There's a lot of challenges that come along with the goal line from what I've seen, as it's kind of moved its way east.
Good. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Appreciate the time.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Next up, Wendy Jarvie. Good evening, Wendy.
Evening.
Hey, tell us a little about yourself.
All right, so I am also a hometown kid. I was born and raised here, third generation Glendoran. And I went through all the public schools, and the high school is where I got my first taste of architecture. I took the drafting classes, and from there went to Citrus College, continued in architecture, and transferred to Cal Poly Pomona. So I've stayed pretty local. I also have a stretch in the middle of my life where I've lived in other cities, even internationally, but came back here because I want to raise my kid here. And I want this city to remain a family-friendly place to raise your kids. And as far as the Planning Commission, I would like to be a steward of what was gifted to me in this community and ensure that it remains a gift for future generations. And I see the potential with the new growth for progress. And I also want to be sensitive to historical, the historical, I don't want to say charm, but charm of Glendora.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Wendy. David.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome and, looking at picking on the guys in the north again and the mandates that we get to look at and the obligations we have, certainly as you architect things and draw and plan. What kind of visions do you see in our open corridors that we might, one, keep that charm, but also fulfill the growing change in needs that we have?
Well, I would like to see a little bit more pedestrian friendly. As far as the Gold Line extension, to have everything be within walking distance and to even have a little more housing. And with the mixed use, I've noticed that a lot of what we currently have is not necessarily retail. It's more of insurance or dentist on the lower levels. I'd like to see a little bit more retail in a mixed use scenario. So the Gold Line extension, I think we have opportunity to make that a vibrant area that would
Great.
include all.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation that we have tremendous volume of services, but the retail thing is something that we certainly can stand to attract more of. So,
Yes, and I would also like to see more small businesses. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that could use the space instead of having more large commercial retailers.
thank you.
Karen?
Hi, in addition to your technical training, what other gifts or talents do you think that you would bring to the Planning Commission?
Well, currently I am on the Glendora Unified School Board's Community Committee for Ethnic Studies. And so in that committee, I have the opportunity to see different perspectives and see things from other people's points of view. And so I think that being able to diplomatically discuss things that affect a larger community, that I have a little bit of, well, I'm open to hearing other people's points of view. And I like to try to find a balance where everybody's needs can be met.
Thank you.
Okay, Mendel.
Wendy, thank you for taking your time to be here and putting in your app. So tell us a little bit about the scope of work that you do. Obviously, you're a licensed, architect, but
Oh, sorry,
architecture.
not licensed.
Oh,
Will be soon.
okay. All right. Well, so what is your niche or what is the scope of work that you do? I mean, people like you can work on a skyscraper down to an office building. So can you kind of tell us kind of where you fit within the scope of that world?
Sure. So over my career, I've worked on high-end residential.
Okay.
I've had the bulk of my experience is retail, and currently I'm doing higher education.
Oh.
So a lot of work on local universities and colleges, including possibly Citrus College.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Very good.
As far as day-to-day work, I've managed everything from design all the way through construction administration.
Mm.
So I get to work on the schematic and also deal with contractors and clients, making sure everybody's, all the stakeholders are working together
Okay.
to achieve a shared goal.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Michael.
Hey, Wendy. So I want to extend on what David has kind of been alluding to, and it's a two-for question. What do you feel about high density and what do you consider high density? And what do you feel about boxes with holes in it as an architect?
I'm gonna come
Or
back to
as
the
a
boxes with
design.
holes, but high density. Having lived in Los Angeles and Oakland, I see high density as being different from what it would be in Glendora. So here, I wouldn't like to see anything over 3 stories. So if that was mixed use, 2 stories and 2 stories residential, 1 story commercial or retail. For
What I meant with boxes of holes in it, when things come to you, if you're on the planning commission, they come to you for a reason to approve it.
Mhm.
And so you have input as far as its design and things you like to see, because once it's there for 50, 100 years.
Yes,
And you're not going to get rid of it. So would you put your influence as being a designer or architect into that to make it look appropriate for the area?
yes, definitely. Especially as someone on the planning commission is basically the voice of Glendora, the residents. And I would want to be a representative of what the residents would want. And I could certainly use my talents to advise in that capacity.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, did I forget anybody this time? I got them all. Okay, good. Wendy,
Might I add
thank you very
one
much.
more thing?
Yeah, please.
I was asked, or earlier it was asked about mandates from the north. I just wanted to say that I would like to see Glendora's the control over planning be local. And if a mandate was unreasonable for Glendora, I would be inclined to find opportunities to push back. So I want Glendora's identity to remain and not have it be a one-size-fits-all from the state level.
Okay, appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Greg Lammers is next on Zoom. Is he on the
He
call?
hasn't logged in yet, and it is a little early, so I
Oh,
don't know if you want to
okay.
try with the next one
Yeah,
first,
we're
and then we'll
actually,
come back.
we're
We're good on time.
typically go long. Jenny, I think Jenny. Yep. Next up, Jenny Chan. Is it okay if we jump over somebody to get to you?
Good evening.
Good evening, Jenny. And if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in being on the Water Commission.
Okay, so first of all, good evening, everyone. My name is Jenny, and I have moved to the city for about 2 years. And professionally, I am a financial manager at a tech company. Currently, I'm working towards my CPA. I'm interested in getting more involved in the community, and it's lucky that there is some commission open that I came across. Specifically for Water Commission, I noticed the first thing on the kind of like the commission job description is someone who understands financially, and this aligns with what I want to do here, which is to provide sound and financially responsible decisions for the Water Commission. I don't know if everyone remember, in January, everyone is shocked by the gas bill that came in. And I think natural resources, this is something that utility, everyone needs it. And I want to help the city. I want to get involved for in the planning process of our billing, so we do not came to a point that we will be shocked with our bill. So with my background, which is financial planning and risk management, we will be able to achieve that goal together.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Jenny. Karen?
Hi, Jenny. You answered a little bit of what I was going to ask about your talents and abilities and what that would bring, but definitely as we look at water rates, the financial background, anything else you would want to elaborate on that?
Currently my current position with the tech company is kind of similar to what I want to do, which is financial planning, looking forward to a 3 to 5 year long range plan. And I have to admit, I do not have experience in water or engineer, but I do notice there is a lot of very experienced commission members. So I think with cooperation, with more collaboration between members with different background, that would help us to achieve a financially sound plan for our long-term water planning goals.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, Mendel.
Jenny, thank you for applying and for being here, and excuse the ignorance that I bring, but you work for H2O.
Yes.
That any way connected to water stuff, or is that just an acronym for something else?
Actually, the company is a tech company. We are focusing on driverless AI, which in the future, in the near future, we probably will have a similar version of ChatGPT coming into the market. Our company background focusing on commercial and open resource. And then the founder is actually very supportive of all the employee to get involved in social and community issues.
Okay.
And one of the focus of our company is actually in education. So we collaborate with some of the largest universities
Okay.
in the in US.
Yeah.
And we are providing support for them to, one of the issue is how to organize their data.
Okay.
And then another thing is to provide a cloud computing power for future research. And yeah, applying to the commission, actually, I do talk to my manager. They are very supportive.
Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Michael.
Thank you, Gary. Jenny, thank you very much for coming. It's intriguing with what you just said about the GP, the chat GP and things of that nature. It's a really intriguing technology. I've used it already. So your background, please help me. You're in finance. You have a degree in finance?
No, I graduated from USC with an accounting degree. I'm working towards a CPA.
Oh, working. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm having my final exam in April, by the end of April. So hopefully I'll have some good news in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Almost. So have you had an opportunity to go onto our city website and look at the financials for the water department and our rates and things of that nature?
I do take a look on my bill.
But no, I mean on the city website for our finances.
Unfortunately, I forgot that. I look at my bill. Yeah, but
Everybody does.
yeah. What question are you trying to get to? Like
You've analyzed it all and looked where the money goes when it comes in from the ratepayer?
Not yet, but this is some of the homework that I'm prepared to do. I listened to the past free water commission meeting. Did not get a chance to analyze the rate, but it is something that I would love to work on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. David?
Thank you. Welcome, Jenny. I did a little curiosity looking, and if I found the right company, it's that you're partnered with. It's a international group that is offering intelligence and outreach to international companies developing utilities and things. Did I find the right one?
I am not sure. The company website is h2o.ai.
That's where
If
I
you're-
landed, but that
Yeah,
doesn't
if you're
mean it's-
interested, yeah.
Okay. Very interesting and quite a diverse product line of
Yes.
service. So very interesting. If you get on this commission, you will be in fact part of the shock factor, because we do have to start looking at rates and infrastructure and things, and nobody's going to like it. It's not going to be a fun exercise, but a good learn to educate, and realizing our water system is 100 years plus.
Yes.
So it needs something, quite a bit. So, sounds like you have the great depth to, project and learn and grow with that. So that's encouraging. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Thank you. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I look forward to work with all of the city council member. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks for coming, Danny. Okay, then our last applicant would be Greg Lammers, and he is via Zoom.
Correct, he is in.
Okay, welcome, Greg.
Hello. Let's see.
Okay,
First of all, apologize for not being there in person. I'm at an industry event in Temecula today, so thank you for doing with me on Zoom.
okay, well, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in being on our commissions?
All right. Well, the name is Greg Lammers. I have been a Glendora resident for 8 years. I live at 1123 Highcrest. I'm neighbors with Councilman Alalos, and I have worked for Athens Services, our waste and recycling provider, for the last 8 years, which brought my relocation down here to Southern California. Prior to that, I was with 28 years with Waste Management in various executive roles, primarily in finance, operations, and business development. So I have worked with municipal jurisdictions basically my entire career, and a lot of experience, obviously, with partnering with city, municipal regulations, state requirements, etc. My municipal experience, I was on the Public Utilities Commission for City of Roseville and Greater Placer County. I was the commissioner my last year until I relocated down here to Glendora. Prior to that, I've been chairman of the board of various chambers of commerce and have served on other boards for smaller companies. In my past, I've been recognized by U.S. Congress certifications, state, Senate, Assembly. So I'm very proud of some of their certifications I've gotten for my community involvement. And it was kind of by the bequest of my coworker Gary and Judy Nelson and Bob Kuhn that I jump into Glendora. And my youngest daughter is graduating from college in 4 weeks. So we're basically empty nesters, have been. So I figured, yeah, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring and see what I can offer my experience to my city. And I say my city because my wife and I absolutely love living in Glendora. My daughter, we transferred down here when she was a sophomore in high school, and she's a graduate of St. Lucy's. Yeah, we just very much enjoy city of Glendora, and I'm looking to contribute my experience to help the city continue its prosperity and way of life.
Okay, appreciate it, Greg. Questions, Mendel?
Greg, thank you. And I'm jealous that you previously worked for WM, because I love the golf event which they have over in Phoenix. So you need to talk to Athens about doing a similar event around here.
That has turned to be quite the wild event, hasn't it? I've
is.
been a couple times when I was with Green, and that has turned into a crazy event, hasn't it?
It really is. On to what you're here for. Just, can you give us just a quick assessment of what you think the whole water condition of our city is in, and any enlightenment on what you think that we need to be doing to continue to manage it and price it right?
Right. Well, I have applied for both the Water Commission and the Planning Commission. I've thrown in both of my applications. So for water, I listened to Jenny's questions. I have not had the chance to take a look at the financials. I know that Glendora operates our own water district, so I have not had a chance to dive into the financials. I have a significant financial background. I was executive vice president and almost an acting CFO for Athens for a period. And now I'm really in business strategy and development. So I haven't specifically looked into the Glendora finances. As a customer, I have a 2-inch line, you know, being in the foothills there. I know the quality of the water we're very impressed with. I do read the annual reports on the quality of the water, and you know, that's about it on my knowledge there. But I can certainly offer my experience with the Public Utilities Commission. Roseville also had its own water district, and I was actively involved in leading some of the actions we had with the water in Roseville. I also grew up, my mom worked for the Santa Clara Valley Water District. So I remember in the 70s growing up with the droughts and always going to her office. And I remember doing a lot of public events where we did the Save Water events. So I guess water has been a little bit of my upbringing as well.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Okay, Michael.
Greg, so how does it feel to have a clean, quiet house as an empty nester?
You know, it's a little bit lonely, but I don't know if you've been getting the Bears lately. We've been enjoying the Bears and lately, and it's a little lonely, and we have no family down here. But we always have such a busy house. But now, you know, we're making new friends, and you know, love the views, and you know, really love living in Glendora.
Yeah, the bear likes to do backstrokes in our pool.
Yes.
So you've applied for both the Water Commission and Planning. What is your druthers? What's your passion?
You know, I would say at this point, you know, I would lean either way. I would say from a passion perspective, I believe that the Planning Commission would have a more of an impact to keeping the integrity of our city and the future development. And I am very much a strategy guy, a future development guy. So I believe that the Planning Commission would potentially play a more important role. Now, I could be wrong, obviously, and maybe I'm basing it on the heavy rainfalls we have, that maybe the water is not as an issue given this tremendous deluge we've had recently, and I'm hoping abundance of water and the, you know, the replenishing of our aquifers. So, but as I said, I am willing to join, to participate in either council where my skills can benefit both. And, you know, even if I join one now, maybe there's a future for the other in my future.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Michael. David?
Thank you, and welcome, Greg. Certainly, our water world does not have near the money and resources that the recycling and trash world has. They seem to have endless money. Lucky them. But our water system is in good shape, but it will need some good guidance and direction on that. As a commissioner in Roseville, did Roseville have meters at that point in time?
We did. We installed meters about 4 years before I was on the commission.
Yeah, many people don't know that the Great North area was enjoying cheap water and no meters, so that's pretty phenomenal to get away with.
It was, and I remember the outcry from the neighbors when they went on metered water, and it was kind of mind-boggling. But I guess I can say the same thing with Glendora when we went automated trash with some of the outcries we heard, as probably the last city in California that still had manual cans. So anyways, I'm sorry to be a little.
Jury's still out on that one, so we're learning. Okay. So as the commissioner in the water world at Roseville, what kind of things might you bring to help our water commission?
Roseville was a very fast-growing community, and it still is a very fast-growing community. So new development and working with some of the home builders on getting those development costs shared was fairly important. There was an abundance of water. I say abundance of water, but the quality of the water was very good, being in the Sierra foothills. So it really was more of a development issue. So what would you say are the biggest issues that Glendora faces? I'm assuming that there's some financial development, maybe with an aging system, but what are some of the biggest hurdles that we feel is facing us in Glendora now?
I would say it's not the supply as much, well, supply is critical in the region, of course, but our biggest concern is certainly going to be the restoration of the infrastructure and
Yes.
how to sell that as painlessly as possible so that we don't sticker shock the community with the reality of they want to keep having water come out of the faucet. So, thank you. No other questions.
Okay.
Karen.
Hi, Greg. I know that you touched on many of the attributes that you would bring from your professional life. Anything else about yourself that you think would be of benefit to either of those commissions that you could bring?
Well, the fact that I'm an empty nester with no kids to worry about now, that's a part. I think I'm at a point in my career also where I can develop more time. As you probably see with Gary Clifford, our company respects and recognizes and supports employees that donate time to our communities. We have a number of employees who serve their municipalities. So I feel that the company would support me as well as my personal life now can allow me to invest my time and my energies to the city.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Anything you'd like to add?
I get questions mostly from the water side. So so anything on the planning side that I can answer or that I should ask?
Anybody have any other? Okay, well, I mean, do you have anything you'd like to add from the planning side? Do you have, thoughts and dreams for what Glendora should be?
I do, and I would weigh that with obviously the economic development impact we have. But I think like many, I'd want to share maintaining Glendora's history and the uniqueness of Glendora with development. And I know we're faced with some of the higher occupancy residential builds and whatnot. So I watch what's going on in our downtown area, what's going on Route 66. And, obviously as a homeowner, very interested in seeing what our community offers and keeping our community, as a close-knit community. And one thing that I'm consistently amazed at is how many long-term Glendorans we run into who have been born here, lived here, and, plan to live here for a while. And I think, I've traveled a bit through California with my work in the past. That's a remarkable thing, and that shows a great commitment. And to be honest with you, I didn't know virtually anything about Glendora before we moved down here. It was really Gary that suggested, that I take a look at Glendora, and we were looking all over the area, including Orange County, and we were very, very happy that we chose Glendora. So I'd like to keep that uniqueness in Glendora by still recognizing, we do need economic growth. We need jobs and we do need quality construction, but I don't want to see Glendora turn like some of our neighboring communities for development.
Okay, appreciate it, Greg. Okay, that is it for our interviews. I turn it back over to you guys to tell us what we do next. Well, first off, I just got to say, every time we do this, it's always so difficult because we have so many residents in the community that want to participate, that want to give back. I love the fact we had a couple examples tonight that we talk about this all the time of young people that grow up and can't wait to get away from boring Glendora. And when you're ready to settle down and raise a family, you come back. And my kids did it. There's a lot of young people in town did it, as well as a number of lifetime and multi-generational families that we have here in town. So, it continues to be a great place to live, and the, outpouring of love for this community from people wanting to get involved is really important. So I want to thank everybody Unfortunately, every time we do this, Mendel wants to expand all the commissions so we can have like 9 people on every commission. So we can utilize everybody's expertise, but that's unfortunately not the way it works. So I want to thank everybody for coming, and we will now get instructions on how we're going to deal with this.
So at this time, I request that each council member fill out ballot 1, which is the green sheet that was placed at the dais in front of you. And I ask that you select 3 for the Community Services Commission, 3 for the Planning Commission, and 2 for the Water Commission. And then as soon as you're done, if you could please let me know, and I'll be happy to pick it up. Okay, then. So I'll go by each sheet. First, we'll start with Lois. Okay, so looks like we'll have to vote again for planning and for the community services, since there's a tie. Ballots. But we do have for the Water Commission, Richard Hansen and Greg Lammers have been appointed.
So on this next ballot, just vote for the 4 candidates that received a majority vote of the council on community services. So the names in yellow, you can vote on, again, 3 votes. And then the same for planning, 3 votes for anybody in yellow.
I'll leave that up for a minute so you guys can see which ones. Yep, just the 2, just community services and planning.
No,
No,
3
you're voting for community services and you're voting for the planning commission.
3 on each.
3 each selection, yeah.
Just make sure the names are yellow. from the previous ballot. From the,
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Confirm. Okay. Okay. Yep.
Some people claim it already is.
All right. Ballot number 2. No
Music?
pressure, right? Forgot this one, sorry. Same thing.
And that surprises you, why?
So at this point, what I would recommend is that we appoint the 2 top votes received, which would be David Gerber for community services and Stefan Sally. And then we'll do one last ballot to see if we can get the 3rd position. And then for planning commission, we would appoint, I recommend we appoint Mark Davis and Paulette Koss, and then do a 3rd ballot to determine the final appointee.
Anybody object to that, Lynn? Okay.
Yeah, so between community services, you're gonna vote either on Mallory Burrell or Martha.
We're voting.
No,
for
no, no, just
one.
one.
Oh, just one. But between those 2.
No,
For community
yes,
services.
the 2 that vote 3, Valerie,
So it's tied right now, so they're. between-
Mallory and Marcia.
Okay. And then for planning, it's either Timothy or
Timothy.
Wendy. Oh, thank you. That's not your colors, you know. Here we go.
No hanging chads.
Here we go. Ballot number 3. We have some winners.
Okay, well, we finally landed this plane and I want to again thank everybody who came out and this is always a tough decision for all of us to get through this, but I want to share for those that did not get chosen. It tells a lot about our community, about people that want to get involved and are passionate about it. And I just got to share a quick story that 5 years ago, when I was sitting in the mayor's seat and we went through this process, had an opportunity to talk to one of our applicants that did not get chosen during this process. And she still wanted to get involved. She was asking what can be done? What else can be done? And so we talked about a number of different groups and things in town for her to get involved in. And I don't have her permission, but I'm going to use her name tonight. I hope she'll forgive me, but her name was Vineet Carr, who went on to found Fruitfully Yours. And if she would have been chosen for the commission, Fruitfully Yours probably wouldn't exist. And so, there is so much that can be done in this community and so many people willing to volunteer and step up. And we appreciate everybody's commitment. But with that, I believe we are done. And so we are adjourned at 6:20.